I think that because of the hidden voices and a very narrow narrative that is dominant in the Western world,
Very.
that we need our contributions to belong there. They don't just need to be included.
Yeah.
They need to be told, they need to be active as an expanded narrative of what happened in the Americas and globally. I think Phillis represents the arc of centuries of beginning a very formal canon in African American literary art.
Yeah.
And her book that was published in London also has a visual that gives us that 1773 moment.
Absolutely,
of the
by an
visual
African
canon.
artist.
And her formerly enslaved neighbor. So when we
And
think about
how many Africans in that period were being depicted? Very few.
Very few.
Yeah.
Very few. But I think Phillis situated herself in immortality with her elegies, her regard for the circumstances of death
Yes.
for families and who was important at the time. And in her genius set this precedent of women who not only are African American and who are Black, but they are writing for presidents. They are writing, as we look at Elizabeth Alexander, Toni Morrison, Maya Angelou, those who are writing and recently Ms. Gorman,
Yes.
who write in important ways that affect the canon of American history.
Absolutely.
So
Toni Morrison, as you know, famously said of Phillis, to be a literate slave was supposed to be a contradiction in terms. She called Phillis a miracle. Phillis, in the midst of slavery, enslaved herself, created. How do you forge forward and do your vital work in spite of the continuing systemic racism that we're all working to eliminate?
Well, I think in reviving what I call our memory as a collective, and then individually in my own space, want to add contributions to that as authentic, as truthful, as unapologetic, as intentional, to make the case for our own space that we occupy.
Right.
We have to have some way of documenting that. We have to have some way of speaking to the world.
But many people are deterred because there are still so many obstacles. You've been creating for 40 odd years. What's the secret?
I don't know if it's a secret, but I grew up in Jim Crow South for my formative years. And unless we had everything for ourselves supplied, we didn't have it.
Right.
And so it is important that we make our own way, we make our own statements, because other people are not going to do that
for
us in the way that we need it to be said. So I think it is very important, the voices that emerge over generations,
Absolutely.
and in our continuing future of generations, to be adamant. I have a saying, hashtag emphatically stated, that says who we are, what our purpose is, and we must know our why.
It's a tradition. We continue building, standing on the shoulders of the giants.
Yes. I am Lamerche Frazier. This is Phillis Wheatley 250. Phillis forever.